Most of us spend decades working, building something, providing for someone, showing up. And now, for most of us, it's over. And in the quiet that follows, some of us find ourselves asking a question we didn't expect. Did any of it matter? Not the paycheck, not the title. Did the work matter? Was I a good person in the way I made my living? Did I cause harm I wasn't even aware of? These questions can be heavy. The Buddha doesn't ask us to avoid them. He asks us to look the way you'd look in a mirror, not to flinch, not to punish, just to see. This is the 5th video in our 8-part series on the Noble Eightfold Path. We're finishing the ethics bucket today. Right livelihood, the 3rd of the 3 ethical factors on the path. The Buddha was specific about this one. He named 5 trades a person should not make a living from. Weapons, living beings, meat, intoxicants, poison. Work that profits from harm. Simple, direct, and for most of us, not the question anymore. Some of us are still working. Most of us are looking back. And so the deeper question, the one that applies to us right now, is this: how do I live now? Retirement is rare in human history. Most people, for most of time, worked until they couldn't. We have been given something almost no generation before us has: time, unstructured, ours to arrange. The Buddha would say this is not a reward to be spent, it's an opportunity to be used. Right livelihood in this season of life means building a life that supports the path. Enough simplicity to think clearly. Enough generosity to stay open. Enough structure to keep the practice alive. Not a monastery, just a life arranged around what actually matters. And as for the career we look back on, the choices we made, the compromises, the things we're not sure about, the Buddha taught his own son to reflect on his actions the way you look at your face in the mirror. Before, during, and after. Not to condemn what you see, to learn from it. We look at our working lives honestly. We acknowledge what we see, and we use that honesty as fuel for how we want to live now. Not as punishment, but as wisdom. 3 practices this week. The first practice is the mirror reflection practice. This week, sit quietly for 10 minutes and look back at your working life, the way the Buddha taught. With honest, gentle eyes, ask yourself, where did I act with integrity? Where did I compromise in ways I'm not proud of? Don't rush past the first question to get to the second. Most of us are quicker to catalog our failures than to acknowledge where we actually showed up well. See both clearly. This is not about guilt. It's about understanding your own karma, the seeds you planted, and what you want to plant from here. Exercise 2. Protect 1 hour. Look at your week. Find 1 hour, just one, that you can protect for formal practice. Meditation, reading the Dhamma, sitting in silence. Put it in your day the way you once put a meeting in your calendar. Not because you have to, but because you finally can. For most of our lives, the practice fit around everything else. Now, perhaps for the first time, everything else can fit around the practice. That is the gift of this season of life. Don't waste it. Exercise 3, the simplification. Look at your life this week, your habits, your commitments, your possessions, your routines, and find one thing that creates stress without giving back anything of value. One thing. A subscription you don't use. A commitment you resent. A possession that owns you more than you own it. And consider releasing it. Not because simplicity is a virtue in the abstract, but because every unnecessary complication is energy taken away from the path. The lighter we travel, the further we go. The Buddha said a human life is precious, rare like a blind sea turtle in a vast ocean, surfacing once a century and rising through a single floating ring. That's how rare it is. And this stage of life, with its time, its freedom, its hard-won perspective, may be the most precious part of it. Most people never get this chance. We have it. The question Right Livelihood asks is simply, are you using it? Next week, we enter the final bucket, mental training. And we begin with the step that most people find the most surprising, right effort, which turns out to be almost nothing like what most of us think effort means. I'll see you then. Subscribe to Later Life Peace, and we'll see you on the path.